An empire built on oil, a dynasty forged in fossil fuels. For decades, the name Reliance has been synonymous with the massive and massively profitable world of oil and gas. It's a company that has powered a nation, created staggering wealth, and become one of the largest corporations on earth, all by selling the very stuff that now threatens our planet. But what if that empire is about to change forever? Reliance, the titan of oil, is spending $10 billion to go green. Is this a stroke of genius from a visionary looking to build a new kind of energy empire? Or is it the most expensive PR campaign in history, a desperate attempt to greenwash a fossil fuel legacy while the oil profits keep rolling in? In this video, we're going to follow the money and find out. First, to get just how big this pivot is, you have to understand the sheer scale of Reliance. This isn't just some company. Reliance Industries is a monster, a cornerstone of the Indian economy whose oil to chemicals or O2C business is a colossal machine. We're talking about the world's largest refining complex, a labyrinth of pipes and towers in Jamnagar, Gujarat, that can process nearly 1.4 million barrels of crude oil every single day. This business alone generated revenues of over $73 billion last year. It's the heart of the company. But the world is changing, and the writing is on the wall for fossil fuels. Pressure from investors, governments, and a public demanding climate action has created an existential crisis for oil giants. The old business model, once a license to print money, is now seen as a major liability. And this is where the story gets interesting. In response, Chairman Mukesh Ambani didn't just announce a small tweak, he announced a revolution. An initial commitment of $10 billion to launch one of the most ambitious green energy transitions ever attempted. This isn't about just buying a few wind farms. This is about building an entirely new, vertically integrated green energy ecosystem from the ground up. The crown jewel of this vision is the Dhirubhai Ambani Green Energy Giga Complex, which is rising, symbolically, right next to their massive oil refinery in Jamnagar. Think of this complex as a factory of factories, like building an entire iPhone supply chain under one roof, but for green energy. Reliance is constructing 4 massive plants. 1. Solar panel factory. Imagine covering Mumbai with solar panels. That's the scale we are talking about. 2. Battery factory. Because the sun doesn't shine at night, you need massive batteries to store all that energy. 3. Hydrogen factory. This is the game changer. They're producing green hydrogen, a clean fuel that could replace diesel and petrol at under $1 per kg. That's cheaper than fossil fuels. And 4th, fuel cell factory. These convert hydrogen back into electricity when you need it. The ambition: supply 10% of India's entire electricity demand. That's like powering all of Maharashtra from a single location. This isn't about joining the green transition, it's about dominating it. The genius argument is this: Reliance is using its enormous capital and know-how to become the world's cheapest producer of green energy, just like they blew up the telecom market with Jio. It's a strategy to build a future-proof company and a new growth engine for the next 50 years. So the plan sounds incredible, but is it everything it seems? To get the other side of the coin, we need to talk about greenwashing. Simply put, it's when a company spends more time and money marketing itself as eco-friendly than actually being eco-friendly. It's like a fast food chain adding a side salad to the menu and then calling the whole restaurant healthy. This is where the skepticism around Reliance's big green bet kicks in. First, let's talk about the money. $10 billion is a ton of cash, but in the world of Reliance, context is everything. This investment is spread out over years. Compared to their oil and chemicals business, which can rake in over $60 billion in revenue in a single year, that $10 billion starts to look less like a revolution and more like a rounding error. Critics argue that while Reliance is talking green, its main business is and will remain overwhelmingly brown. The company has made it clear that their massive oil refineries aren't going anywhere and will keep running profitably. Mukesh Ambani has even said they'll upgrade the refineries to produce higher value chemicals, essentially squeezing every last drop of profit from each barrel. So is the green energy plan a real replacement for oil,
or just a flashy new accessory paid for by the fossil fuel machine? Then there's the timeline. Many of these huge goals, like the battery gigafactory and large-scale hydrogen production, are slated for 2026 or even later. A lot can change in that time. Is Reliance making a promise for a distant future to make themselves look good today, knowing it might not all pan out as advertised? The charge of greenwashing suggests this is all about securing a social license to keep their carbon-heavy business running for as long as they can. If you're finding this breakdown useful, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the strategies that are changing our world. We are about to get to the final verdict and you don't want to miss it. Alright, so genius or greenwash? To figure it out, we have to follow the money and more importantly, the strategy. The greenwashing argument is that this is all for show, but a few key pieces of evidence suggest something much bigger is happening. The single most powerful counter-argument comes from Mukesh Ambani himself. He has stated repeatedly that he expects the new green energy business to become as big and profitable as the entire oil-to-chemicals business within just 5 to 7 years. Let that sink in. He's publicly targeting this new venture to match the business that has been the bedrock of his family's empire for 40 years. That's not the language of a PR stunt. That's the language of a core business strategy. Second, look at the strategy itself. Reliance isn't just buying solar panels, it's building the entire supply chain. This plan for vertical integration, controlling everything from the raw materials for solar panels to the factories that make batteries and electrolyzers, is a classic playbook for total market domination. It's designed to crush costs, drive innovation, and build a competitive wall so high that no one else can climb it. Companies don't invest this heavily in complex manufacturing just for good press. They do it to make a fortune. This brings us to a more interesting conclusion. It's probably not a simple case of genius or greenwash. What we are likely seeing is the world's biggest and boldest genius hedge. Reliance isn't shutting down its fossil fuel cash cow tomorrow. It's using the massive profits from the old world to fund its escape into the new one. They're running two strategies at once: squeeze every last dollar out of the past while aggressively building the infrastructure to own the future. Ambani himself has assured shareholders that their existing businesses will stay profitable while this transition happens. This pivot also happens to align perfectly with India's national goals. The Indian government has huge renewable energy targets and needs corporate giants to make them happen. By becoming the country's green champion, Reliance gets political goodwill and a massive protected market. So is it greenwashing? The term just doesn't feel big enough. While the company is definitely cashing in on the good PR, the evidence points to a real capital-intensive business transformation. The strategy is real, the investments are concrete, and the financial goals are enormous. This isn't a company putting a salad on the menu. This is a company building a global, vertically integrated health food empire, even if it's still selling burgers and fries for now to pay for it all. In the end, Reliance's $10 billion bet isn't really about saving the planet. It's about saving itself. It's a ruthless, profit-driven pivot born from the realization that the energy world of tomorrow will be completely different. And it's a strategic move to make sure that no matter what happens, Reliance stays on top. The greenwash label is easy to slap on any oil giant making green promises, but the sheer scale of the manufacturing ambition, the focus on owning the entire value chain, and the explicit goal of creating a new business just as big as their oil empire suggest that this is one of the most important corporate pivots happening in the world today. If a fossil fuel titan like Reliance can actually pull this off and transform into a green energy super major, it will send a shockwave through the entire industry, proving that this transition isn't just possible but wildly profitable. But that leaves us with the final question. Can a company built on carbon ever be truly green? Or is this pragmatic, profit-first approach the only realistic way our energy transition will happen? What do you think? Is this a stroke of genius or the world's biggest greenwashing campaign? Let me know your verdict in the comments below, and for more deep dives that break down the world of business and strategy, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.